we're going to run through a series of movements you may find beneficial if you've been sat in front of your computer for a long period of time. Often when we're sat anywhere for a long period of time, we don't adapt to the best postures. We can be sat for several hours at a time, which leads to our bodies feeling quite stiff and tight. We don't feel very mobile and loose. And you can even get things like headaches and pain between the shoulder blades. So this series of movements should help you with some of those symptoms. It's also really good to take a break from your computer. A couple of minutes every hour is what I suggest. So this series of exercises should be quite useful for you to work through. So just slowly drop your chin down towards your chest and then just gently look up towards the ceiling. And you're going to just slowly move through this about 10 times, making sure that when you drop your chin down, you're not just relaxing the rest of the posture. So the movement's only coming from the neck here, providing there's no pain. If you do get some pain looking up towards the ceiling, just don't go as high, maybe gaze just to the top of the door or where the ceiling meets the wall. And then you're just going to start looking from side to side, just working your way around, really trying to get that full range of movement. Again, some of us get a little bit of pain when we get to our end range, so maybe just only move to where you feel that discomfort start, because none of this is painful. And then we're just going to drop the chin down again. And this time just going to sort of roll the head from side to side. Should just start to feel that nice mobility coming through the back of the neck here. And it's always good to stretch out the front here as well. So one of the ways that I like to do that is you place your hand onto your chest, just where your collarbone is here. So you should feel contact with that. And then I want you just to pull the skin down slightly, very gently, don't be heavy-handed. And then you're just going to gently look up. And what you should feel is a stretch come through the front here. And you want to just run through that a few times. Maybe adjust the hand if it doesn't quite feel like you've got it in the right place. And then we're going to bring that to the side as well. So tilt the head to the backwards slightly and draw the chin upwards. And come back. Always start back in that neutral position. Just allows you to really get in touch with your body and make sure that you're not causing any sort of damage or harm, no pain. And then just go back to a few of those neck rolls, head rolls, going nicely through the movement. If you feel confident with your head backwards, you can just do a couple coming in. It's not always suitable for all of us. Sometimes people feel a little dizzy in this position. And then I just want you to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, hold for a few seconds and drop them back down. And hug them up so it's really like you're tensing for a few seconds and drop back down. I'm just going to run through that a couple of times. Your arms out in front of you with your palms facing down, and then you're just going to flick your wrists back, bringing the fingers back towards your face and relaxing back down. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed through this. You don't want to be bringing any tension in. If you hear any clicks or pops, cracks, that's fine. Our bodies are quite noisy. And maybe just do about 10 repetitions of this. And then I want you just to flick the hands over so palms are facing the ceiling, and then just push the palms away from your face this time. Again, keeping the shoulders relaxed, just starting to feel the movements come through your wrists. And then we're just going to run through some finger movements. So just flick the hands in and out quite quickly, really trying to flick the fingers away from you, maybe 20 times. And then I want you to clasp your hands together, and we're just going to do a bit of a sort of a flow action now. So starting just going in one direction, it brings in a little bit of movement from the shoulders, but as you can see, my neck's not moving, the rest of my body isn't moving. It's really about trying to get that movement. So I'll slow it down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And it's almost like I'm trying to create a bit of a wave through my body. And maybe when you've done about 10 of those, you can speed them up. Maybe do it nice and slow and controlled until you get used to the movement. You're going to come back the other way. Again, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed, letting just the elbows relax a little. That's great. And then I want you to bring palms together, and you're going to bring your palms away from your body a little bit like so. And then you're going to, keeping the fingertips and thumb and palm in contact, push down. So you may feel this stretch a little bit in the arms, back of the triceps maybe, but hopefully you do feel it around the wrist area as well. Again, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed. Nice straight tall posture here. And you want to do maybe 5 to 10 of those. And then bring your elbows up so they're more in line with each other like so. And we're going to just tilt from one side to the other. Really starting to feel that movement, really pushing through the fingers, the thumb, the palm. Try and make sure that the whole surface of your hand is in touch. And then if you can, if you have the good flexibility to do so, I want you to try and, so you're going to roll the hands away from you, trying to keep the elbows nice and level, shoulders are still relaxed. Bring the fingers so that they're pointing down, and what you're trying to do is keep the palm and the fingers in touch, but almost go as if you're about to separate your hands, but you're not actually doing so. So it feels like you're leaning forward or pushing forward from your elbows. You should feel the stretch come on the inside here. And again, just hold for a few seconds and then relax out of it and come back in. 5 to 10 times, you do whatever feels right for you. And then you maybe want to do a couple more of the wave actions. And we're going to stretch the palms out in front of you again. Feel where that maximum stretch is, and then just encourage a little bit more through the fingers, not stressing too much, not too forceful, quite gentle. Change the position around a little bit if you can, where you're pushing, and then bring to the other side. And then flip over. And what I want you to do is just do a few shoulder rolls, forwards and backwards, just to get the movement in. Make sure there's no pain or anything there. And then you're going to drop one shoulder away and side bend your head to the opposite side, keeping this shoulder relaxed. A lot of the movement's coming through from here. You're not going to pull on your head. Your head's heavy, it does the job for you. And then just shrug that back up and come back into that nice deep stretch again. And we're going to do this only 3 or 4 times on each side. And then maybe a few shoulder rolls before you go on to the other side. And again, so you're dropping that shoulder down, keeping this shoulder relaxed, and then just dropping the ear to meet the shoulder, stretching through here. It's quite an intense stretch for many of us, and then shrug back up, and again come into it. You're only really holding the stretch for a few seconds. And then again, just go through a few shoulder rolls, forwards and backwards. Bring your palms facing away from you, keeping relaxed through the shoulders, and just bring the elbows down to wherever they sort of sit comfortably. From here, all you're going to do is just bring the arms backwards and then come forwards. And you're going to do about 2 movements at each height. And then you're just going to start working your way a little higher. If you need to go a little slower, just to really feel the movement, that's fine. Really try and squeeze the shoulder blades together. So about here, you should really start to feel that movement between the shoulder blades. So imagine these are your shoulder blades, you're squeezing the bottom parts together and bring around in front of you. Try and keep both arms moving relatively at the same time, keeping the shoulders relaxed at the top. Don't want to be hunching the shoulders up towards your ears. Keep working every couple of repetitions a little higher, just a few inches at a time. And you'll get to sort of a rough stopping point approximately about here. And then we're just going to work our way back down. But on the way back this time, when you get to the end, I want you to really squeeze, almost like a little pulse. So it's almost like you're leading from the elbows are bringing you backwards. And I'll just show you quickly from a back view, you may find that a little easier to follow. So bring the palms to face away from you, relax through the shoulders wherever your elbows sit naturally, and you're just going to bring the arms backwards. Really feeling that squeeze come through the shoulder blades. Try and feel it at the bottom of the shoulder blades, not around the top area or anywhere near your neck. If that's where you're feeling it, probably just means that you're holding onto a little bit too much tension around the shoulder, the traps themselves. So maybe you want to work only the lower angles of this movement. And then as you come back down, you're going to really squeeze, almost like a little pulse here. So either side first, bring the arm up. You're going to place the hand so it's in the middle of the back here. Try and have this in as much of a straight line as possible. Bring the other hand to grasp onto the elbow, not too tightly, and you're just going to encourage that movement so the hand goes further down the back. It sounds strange, but you need to try and keep the shoulders relaxed here. So you can't really see, but I am quite relaxed through my shoulders. There's not too much tension going on through the traps. Now, once you feel comfortable in this position, maybe hold that stretch for a few seconds. You're just going to gently side bend away, just to start bringing in some of that movement. It will most likely intensify the stretch down the back of the arm. You may feel some tension into the armpit, that's fine. Maybe a little bit around the shoulder blade, not a problem. It's just part of mobilizing through here. And you're just trying to make a nice C shape with that spine. And by pulling on the other elbow here, just encourages that last little bit of movement. So even though it's an active movement, almost adding in a little bit of passive at the end there. That's good. And then just a few little shoulder rolls, give that a shake out. We're going to switch to the other side. You may find that one side is tighter than the other. Maybe just take a little bit longer to let that stretch really sink in, because you don't want to start this next movement feeling uncomfortable. And then you're just going to stretch to the other way. So a really nice C-shape action coming through the spine. Really feel that stretch down the back of the arm. If you do need to reposition a little bit, that's fine, not a problem. You've got to find what works for you after all. And again, just maybe 5 to 10 of these side bending actions, keeping this chest pushed forward, shoulders relaxed as possible. And then again, just a few little shoulder rolls.